بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب السمو، أصحاب السعادة، الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ما تزال تقنية بلوكتشين تقنية ناشئة، إلا أن تطورها اللافت جعل الكثير من المؤسسات العمل على تطبيقها، ليس فقط في الأعمال وإنما كذلك في الصناعات والخدمات العامة، لما تتميز به من خصائص في تخفيض التكلفة وزيادة سرعة المعاملات، وما تسمح به بالقيام بالمعاملات وتبادل البيانات دون الحاجة إلى وسيط تقليدي أو طرف ثالث. بينما تحاول المؤسسات الحكومية العمل على التحول نحو التكنولوجيا المستقبلية، فإن بلوكتشين عملت على التمدد خارج السياسات والأنظمة الحالية، لذا فإنه يتطلب العمل عليها في إطار شامل لجعلها تتكيف مع هذه الأنظمة، وذلك للحيلولة دون العمل بها ضمن بيئة تهدد استقرار الاقتصاد. Blockchain is an emerging technology, and the rapid development of this future technology created interest of solutions for many financial organizations and industries, as well as public sector. Blockchain solutions may reduce cost of operations and increase the speed of transactions. It is also an effective tool to do transactions and exchange data without the need for a traditional broker or third party. While government institutions are trying to shift to future technologies, it is important to expand beyond existing policies and regulations, and that requires working in a comprehensive framework to adapt them and to prevent them from operating in an environment that threatens the securities and stabilities of the economy. Your Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you all in the second Blockchain Symposium and would like to invite Excellency Hamad Al-Rawahi, Executive President of Telecommunications Regulatory Authority, to give the opening remarks.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب السمو، أصحاب السعادة، الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I have two comments. I've been told to speak in English by organizers. فلكم معذرة. Second thing, before I start my opening speech, I would like to say a few words about Sultan Qaboos University. In early 90s, when I was a junior IT manager in the government, we were recruiting graduates from Sultan Qaboos University, and the quality was not very good. And the reason is that the student was taking very general subjects, so computer science student was not really a computer science student. So we engaged with SQU, and I remember in this podium we spent 1 week professionals with academia for 1 week, and luckily Qaboos University had adopted the new curriculum for computer science, and in 1998 we started to see the professional graduates of SQU. And today, most of the leaders in the ICT sector are from SQU. Thank you very much for that. I'm not specialized on blockchain, but what I will do, I will give a generic view of the sector, so maybe this will open discussion for the speakers later on. Your Highness, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to be with you today to deliver this keynote. I will start by highlighting the general policy of the government in the ICT, followed by the initiative of the sector members, which I believe are the basis for integration of digital technologies like blockchain or any other technologies in line with the fourth industrial revolution. The general policy framework of the government toward the ICT sector lays the principles and the direction for investment, growth, and the opportunities by increasing internet penetration while focusing on high-speed broadband access to achieve the objective of e-Oman, including facilitating the speed of e-government, e-commerce, e-learning, e-health, and so forth. It further states that the preparation of a suitable condition for effective competition in provision of infrastructure, telecom service, and promote competitions and creating a supportive regulatory and legal environment. The policy also aims to expand the provision of a full range of telecom service in the unserved area to achieve the objective of bridging the digital divide and bring the rural population into mainstream economic activities. Also, the government endorsed the National Broadband Strategy developed in accordance with the policy above that envisage enhancing the infrastructure and boosting the demand for broadband service. So this is a high-level policy of the government. So what did we do as the sector member? In order to achieve these policies, TRA issued relevant regulation and guidelines to encourage the competition in the sector, allowing new services provider by issuing a new license. On the area of critical resources like spectrum, TRA, in coordination with the Ministry of Transport and Communication, developed the immigration plan to increase the availability of required spectrum and establish first online system in the region for spectrum management. The spectrum is one of the key factors for mobile, and without having enough spectrum, the resource is not there. And traditionally, many countries have been suffering for spectrum because most of the spectrum are allocated with the military or security agencies. So to take them to put in the civilian is almost a nightmare. Oman was the first country in the region, thanks for all the decision maker, to migrate all the band into civilian. And to date, Oman is the highest spectrum bandwidth to the operator compared to others. In respect of uncovered area, TRA engaged with the sector members to make available telecom service in the urban and rural uncovered area. For example, TRA initiated establishment of communication service covering more than 312 sites, saves more than 400 villages. A couple of years ago, there were more than 500 villages in Oman with zero coverage. And can you imagine that a family, students have no service? So we work very hard to cover those areas, and I'm glad to say by to date, we have less than 10 villages which is required to be covered. As a result of these, there are currently 2 mobile operators having coverage of 99% of populated area in 2G, 3G, and 4G, a penetration around 152%, and the active mobile broadband subscription reached now almost 92%. In addition, there are 2 mobile resellers. This we call them Class 2 license, and they have market share around 15% in Oman. In the area of 5G services, TRA has initiated the engagement with the operator and the government entities while allocating necessary spectrum. Hopefully, the first pilot test will be conducted in early 2019. A 5G is unique features, require high bandwidth, is for the smart service. And until today, there is no standard for 5G. Every country, every company are developing, and hopefully in 2019, in the World Radio Congress, will be conducted in Sharm el-Sheikh, they will approve the standard. At that time, the manufacturer will start manufacturing 5G. Everything you hear from now on is just a test environment. But in Oman, the first quarter will do a test. One test will be in Suhar, and the other test will be in other places in Oman, just to test the features of 5G services. In the fixed broadband, this is connecting home, there are 3 licensed operators providing range of service with the ADSL, LTE fixed, and the fiber. Fixed broadband subscription reach around 68%. We have 3 companies, Omantel, Ooredoo, and the Awasor are the player on the fixed broadband. TRA issue approval to existing licenses for provision of IoT services. We've seen the growth of IoT now. And now it's reached almost 200,000 machine to machine. And this is a big demand. I'm sure in the area of blockchain, that will be the de facto for to assist the communication between devices. In terms of internet bandwidth, licensed operators have been investing in submarine cables as part of international consortia to secure internet bandwidth. In Oman, we have more than 14 cables passing from Europe to Asia, passing Oman, and I think this is a unique feature for location of Oman. We have around 7 landing stations in Oman. Can you imagine the size of bandwidth passing in Oman? So this is a unique opportunity for the country, unique for investor, unique for any ISP in the future. The issuance of access interconnection regulations and the approval reference access offer is expecting to witness growth in number of ISP in the market. TRA issue regulation, we call it ex-ante and export regulations, and also we enforce the operator to publish their tariffs with agreed price, especially in the wholesale. We've noticed after that a demand in internet providers. We get some requests internally from GCC, so the growth is started to take place. We also notice a growth in demand of data center services and the establishment of new data center facilities in which they have positive impact in addressing the increased demand of cloud service. We've seen a big initiative now. Omantel, they've signed with Equinix. We have Data Park, Data Mount in Jebel Akhdar, Ooredoo. So we see the growth of data center. I think this will be a very good opportunity for the blockchain in the future. In the area of e-services, according to ITA, more than 900 services now offered online to beneficiaries from 25 entities. It's mostly of government entities, including all types of services, whether informational or transactional. Of these, there are more than 500 services that are integrated end-to-end. As for 2018, 241 new services have been added this year alone, made available online from 11 entities. Out of these services, 141 integrated end-to-end. And this is part of the transformation of the government. We've seen now a lot of governments, they go online, and also they transact between government to government. We've noticed that the citizens they like to, especially young generation, they like to do the online services. As we all know that digitization is a fundamental requirement for the success of the blockchain integration with other technologies. Fortunately, based on the implementation of government policies and the initiative of all members, integrator of digital technology with blockchain is promising, provided that the issue of privacy, security, confidentiality are adequately addressed. I have not touched the issue of data privacy. I have not talked about the skills. I'll leave it to the conference to discuss later. Thank you very much.
For the challenges, opportunities, and impacts, we would like to call Mr. Justin Smith to give his keynote speech.
Good morning, everybody. Almost a decade ago, a new form of money emerged. This money has many unique properties. The total possible supply of this money is strictly limited, it's easily verified, and it can't be changed. This money can be used by anyone, but the system can be controlled by no one. This is radically different from the money that we all grew up with and that we all know today. And this money functions exactly as intended, all day, every day. And it's used in many ways, for many reasons, by many people all over the world. And this money is called Bitcoin. In 1999, researchers from Microsoft and MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, suggested a technique for solving a very specific and long-standing problem in distributed computing called Byzantine fault tolerance, or BFT. BFT is used in critical flight control systems, kind of like the ones that are used in the Oman Air Boeing 787 that I flew in here on the other day. And it's also used in Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, Byzantine fault tolerance is implemented through a technique which is called a blockchain. Blockchain is one of many problem-solving techniques at our disposal. In the last few years, it seems we've discovered countless others. I think we sometimes use the word blockchain as a catch-all, referring to the tools, ingenuity, and determination required to solve some of the world's most difficult and important problems. And that's why we're here. Swisscom and BSS are here to work together to develop and deploy practical, working solutions to difficult and important real-world problems. I'm honored to be here today. Thank you so much for inviting us. And I'm looking forward to spending this week with you guys and conducting this training together with BSS. Thank you.